Oh yeah. I briefly will talk, but this is an idea I kind of need to expand on a lot. This is I'm literally just gonna read from my notes, so it's not gonna be like full sentences, but you'll get the idea. The other day, someone was talking about how there's this shitty horror movie that's been trending on TikTok, and I think it's called Megan is Missing. It's just like a really like mediocre, just shitty horror movie, but it's like everyone's talking about it on TikTok. But I remember over the summer there was a horror movie called Veronica that I remember one TikTok where this guy is like, there is a movie on Netflix that is so scary that most people can't get through it, and one person said he vomited, and like he was just like talking like all this crazy shit about this movie. It's so scary, and he was like, it's called Veronica, and I remember watching this movie a couple years ago, and it was like pretty boring and not that good, and it made me realize that I think whenever someone like specifically on TikTok, TikTok is not based on content; it's based on views. Um, and what happens is, I think when someone makes a TikTok about anything and it happens to blow up, then other people start branching out and making TikToks about that same thing because they're riding that wave of like popularity and because they know they're going to get views. So like literally, the content on TikTok is like aggressively second to the actual, you know, the videos themselves, and what is at the forefront on TikTok is views. Not to say that there aren't some good creators on TikTok. There's some like comedians on there that really crack me up, but I think generally speaking on TikTok, that's why it's such an abysmal app, and it's such a bad like atmosphere because everything's just about like soaking up views, and so I have like this whole rabbit hole I was gonna go down to. Um, I say reference films like Veronica and Megan is Missing, how people hype them for views. And I say this is very like we live in a society, but we live in a world where getting attention is the ultimate goal, and content that gets you there takes a back seat. Um, we're living in an atmosphere that's thin with ideas, and that's sort of like damaging to us. And I think that really is like, yeah, I'll just keep reading. It creates a vaporous society, and that directly contributes to things like depression and anxiety, which I think is really, really true. We crave meaning. We need meaning to live like happy lives. And when there's so little substance, there's so little meaning, there's no direction for anyone to go in. We're all just looking for a high via views on TikTok or what have you, any other medium. Um, I know this stuff. And I said, I know this stuff has been said before, but we are now at a point culturally where we don't even discuss things like materialism and vanity because we're so guilty of chasing all those things, and we know it that there's just this radio silence on those subjects. Um, I mean, the fact is concepts like materialism being bad and pride and vanity being bad are not new. But what is new is the fact that we don't seem to care that it has a very deeply negative effect on our lives. So that is kind of a scary. Once I started going down that train of thought, I realized that there's a lot of legitimacy to that. Things aren't about. I mean, yeah, things aren't about like meaning or purpose anymore. They're just a lot of the shit is just about like what we think is gonna get clicks, and that is so bad. Like it's just an awful, really like shallow way to live, and you're never gonna get real happiness. It's like an addiction. And that's what they say about addicts is like, yeah, you get like this quick high, um, and then it goes away, and you just need the next one. Like it's never like you never attain actual happiness. You never attain um, sustained and deep, true happiness. You get these fucking sparks of like look at all these views. That's what was there were all these studies way back about Facebook, how like the bell, like the notification bell, whenever we would come home, and like the bigger the number on the fucking red number on the notification bell was, like the bigger we have a release of those chemicals. Um, it's the exact same thing we're seeing now, but on like an astronomically more severe level. Um, and what the frightening thing is, this is the frightening thing is no one sees it as an issue anymore. that's what really freaks me out. That's when you know something has won and we as like people have lost. I was talking on a stream with Ben, I think like a week or so ago. I was talking about how someone was saying how COVID's never going to go away, and like like we're all kind of like worried about that at this point because it feels like it's been dragging on for a little too long, right? I think we have lost to COVID once we stop thinking that social distancing and wearing the mask is weird and lame and dumb and stupid when we want to get out of it. That is obviously not to say that you shouldn't obey those things, but when those things become normalized, that's when we're fucked. That's when we've lost, and that's the same thing with this. Like we're at a point where getting these fucking dopamine rushes because your TikTok got a lot of views or whatever is like it's fine. That's like we're all chasing it. There's no problem with it. That's when there's a real problem. And I think I think that's why everyone's so fucking sad all the time because we have no actual like reason to live. Like a lot of us, we don't because we just like that's our reason for getting up in the morning. You just make some shitty video and you hope it gets a lot of views, and that's no way to live. You need to have. I mean, like what I was saying earlier about when I create something that I have genuine faith in, that's like the one time I really feel alive and when I'm doing what I should be doing. Um, I feel like it has a purpose, and I feel like I have a purpose because I'm helping to create it. Um, but when you're doing something just so you can get a little bit of attention, that's bad. The process should be you make something that is of such intrinsic value that then you effectually get attention because it is of value and people have enjoyed it and connected with it on some level. But now we create things just for the sake of attention itself. And that's really toxic, and it shows that a lot of us just have a lack of purpose. I know that sounds harsh, but like I don't know how else to put it. It's bad. So just I don't know. Food for thought.